Hi, welcome back to my channel everyone. For those of you who are new, my name is Keita-Marie and we do all things Pilates here on my channel. Thank you for joining me for today's practice. We're going to begin on our backs. So I just want you to lie down on your mats with your legs fully extended, arms to the side of the body with the palms facing the ceiling. Take a deep breath in through your nose, like you're smelling flowers, and as you exhale through your mouth, pretend that you're blowing out of a candle, so you're forcing the air out of your lips. Continue this deep breath, really filling up your lungs with air as you inhale and emptying those lungs as you exhale. As you're breathing, you're going to notice that every time you exhale, your abdominals will naturally contract. Right? So I want you to, as much as possible, try to mimic that contraction throughout the entire exercise series. So you're going to constantly pull your belly button down to the spine and try to take the breath into your rib cage above your diaphragm. One more deep breath in and breathing out. Fantastic. So we're going to maintain this breath now. I want you to just walk your legs in to a bent position with the feet hip width apart, with the heels of your feet slightly in front of your knees. You're going to slide your shoulders down towards your hips, away from your ears, and flip the palms over so the palms can gently press into the mat. Sliding your arms along the mat, you're going to take a deep breath in as you bring your shoulders up to your ears. Then you're going to slide your shoulders and your arms forward along the mat, away from your ears. Let's repeat this. Inhale, sliding the shoulders up like we're shrugging the shoulders to the ears. Exhale, sliding the shoulders forward and down. Inhale, sliding the shoulders up to the ears. Exhale, sliding the shoulders forward and down. Two more times. Inhale, sliding the shoulders up. Exhale, sliding the shoulders forward and down. One more time, sliding the shoulders up to the ears, and then sliding the shoulders forward and down. Now keep the arms here. We're now going to go into a Pilates tuck position where we're going to engage and activate the upper abdominal muscles. So we're going to lift the head up, lift the shoulders. Keep your palms on the mat for now. Look between your thighs and towards your pelvis. Then you're going to slide your arms forward some more as you slide your ribcage towards your hips. Hold it here, making sure that you're not tilting your pelvis up. Then you're going to release your shoulders and your head to the mat. Keep the neck as long as possible throughout. Let's repeat. Inhale, lifting the head. Exhale, lifting the shoulders. Sliding your ribcage towards your hips as you inhale, as you now start to look at your pelvis or your belly button. Then slowly continue to breathe as you release your shoulders and your head back to the mat. One more time. Inhale, lifting the head, keeping the neck nice and long. Exhale, sliding shoulders towards hips, sliding arms forward, looking towards your pelvis or your belly button. Then slowly releasing your shoulders and your head back to the mat. Let's leave the upper body now, and we're going to walk the feet in a little bit closer to the body, bringing the ankles directly underneath the knees. Gently press into the soles of the feet. You're going to now engage not only your tummy muscles by pulling that belly button down to the spine, but you're also going to engage your lower pelvic floor muscles. Squeezing those muscles now, you're going to slowly imprint the center of your spine into the mat as you lift and tilt your pelvis up towards the ceiling. Hold it here. Then you're going to release your pelvis or your pubic bone forward and down through your hips to come to what we call neutral spine position, where your pubic bone and your hips form a triangle that is parallel to the ceiling. Again, inhale, tilt the pelvis up, imprinting or pressing the center of the spine into the mat. Exhale, release your pubic bone forward and down through your hips to form your neutral pelvic triangle. Inhale, tilt the pelvis up, squeezing your lower pelvic floor muscles, pulling the belly button to the spine. Exhale, releasing your pubic bone forward and down, forming your neutral pelvic position. One more time. Inhale, tilting the pelvis up. And then exhale, releasing that pelvis forward and down through your hips. Keeping the pelvis here, we're going to do the same thing we did before with the upper body. So you're going to inhale, lift your head. Exhale, lift your shoulders up, slide ribcage to hips. You're using your upper abdominal muscles to lift your head and your shoulders off of your mat. Then float your arms up beside your hips, reaching your fingers towards your feet. Take 3 deep breaths in here, making sure that the chin stays over the chest. You want the weight of your head to not be laden by your neck. You want it to be controlled or burdened by your upper abdominals. 1 more deep breath in and out. Then you're going to lift your arms up to the ceiling, release your shoulders and your head to the mat, and then we're going to bring the arms slightly behind the head, just enough for the palms to face the ceiling. I want you to leave the arms here. We're going to walk the feet just a little bit forward, bringing the ankles in front of your knees. Inhale, lift your arms up to the ceiling. Then exhale, lift the head and shoulder blades up using your upper abs. Reaching your hands above your knees, you're going to roll up, scooping the tummy into the spine, bringing your forehead towards your knees, reaching your arms forward at the level of your shoulders. Roll the shoulders back and down. We're going to roll the spine up now as we stack the vertebrae one on top of the other to come to sit in neutral spine, as if we're sitting against a wall, with the top of the head being pulled or lifting up towards the ceiling. Then you're going to pull your tummy in, tuck your tailbone under, come into that lower pelvic floor arch, tuck that tailbone under and roll down through the spine, notch by notch, to bring the shoulders and the head to the mat and bring the arms behind your head. Make sure to keep the shoulders down away from the ears so the neck can be nice and long. Again, inhale, arms up to the ceiling. Arms stay shoulder width apart. Exhale, use your upper abdominals, lift your head and shoulder blades up. Inhale, roll up through C-curve spine. And exhale, bring your forehead towards your knees, reaching your arms forward beyond the legs. Inhale, now release your pubic bone forward and down through your hips, lengthen the spine from the base all the way up to the top of the head. Then pull the tummy in as you tuck your tailbone under and gradually release the spine to the floor notch by notch. 1 vertebra at a time, bringing the arms behind the head. 2 more times. Inhale, arms up to the ceiling. Exhale, rolling up through your C-curve spine. Inhale, bring your forehead towards your knees. Reach your arms forward as you reach the arms parallel to the floor at the level of your shoulders. Then release the pelvis forward and down, lengthen through the spine to come to sit nice and tall in your neutral seated position. Then tuck your tailbone under, curving that lower back, squeezing the tummy in, squeezing your lower pelvic floor muscles, and gradually notch by notch, release the shoulders, the head, and bring the arms behind you. Last time, remember to breathe. In through your nose, lift the arms up, exhale through your mouth, rolling up. Squeeze that tummy as you reach your arms forward, bringing your torso over your thighs. Actively scoop your tummy in away from your thighs as you pull your belly into the spine and up behind the ribcage. Then release your pelvis through the hips, lengthen the spine, and come to sit in a neutral position. Hold it here. We're going to rotate the palms so that they're facing each other. And we're going to take a deep breath in, bending your right elbow, pull that right elbow back, and looking towards that elbow as you twist from the waist. You're going to extend that arm behind you, looking towards the hand. Now tuck the tailbone under, coming into a C-curve spine, and we're going to hold this for 4 counts. Still breathing. 3, 2, and 1. Then we're going to bend that elbow, bring that hand in front, and reach up to the torso to come back to a seated position. We're warming up those obliques. Left side, pull that left elbow back, twisting at the waist. Stretch and lengthen that left elbow behind you. Looking towards your hand, you're going to tuck your tail under and come into a lower C-curve spine, almost like a half C. Just tucking under that lower part of your tailbone. Then you're going to bend your elbow, reach the arm forward and lengthen the spine and come to sit nice and tall as if you're neutral. Let's do that again. So pulling right elbow back and lengthening that right elbow behind us. We're twisting at the waist, opening the chest to the right side. Tuck the tailbone under and look towards that hand and breathe in through your nose and out through the mouth. Really squeezing in your tummy muscles and actively pulling those lower pelvic floor muscles in. Bend that right elbow, extend the arm forward and pull up, lifting up to the top of the head to come to your seated position. Again, twist at the waist, pulling that left elbow back. Then extend that arm behind you, looking towards that left hand, tuck your tailbone under and come into a half C-curve spine. Scooping that tummy in, belly button to the spine, up behind the rib cage, squeezing your lower pelvic floor muscles. Then bend that elbow, slowly reach the arm forward as you come back up to your seated position. Let's bend the elbows now, overlap the hands, and we're going to place those hands on top of the forehead. Take a deep breath in, tuck your tailbone under, and come down into a C-curve spine with your shoulders just behind your hips. If you can go lower without shaking, feel free to go as low as you can, but we make sure that you're still in your C-curve and you're not all the way to the mat. Scoop that tummy in, squeeze those lower pelvic floor muscles. Now imagining that our hips operate kind of like a door hinge, we're going to bring the torso up and forward, bringing the forehead towards the knees, still keeping the spine curved. Then we're going to release the pelvis through the hips, lengthen the spine and lift up to the top of the head, pressing the elbows back, sliding the shoulders down as we keep that chest nice and open. Again, inhale, pull that tummy in, tuck your tailbone under, coming into your C-curve spine. Belly button pulls back to the spine, up behind your rib cage. Now folding forward from your hips, from that hip socket, bring your forehead towards your knees as you still scoop your tummy in away from your thighs. Then release your pelvis forward and down through your hips, lengthen through the spine to come to your seated neutral spine position. Again, tuck the tailbone under. Hold it here. Scoop that tummy in. Keep that scoop as you flex at the hips to bring the torso forward over the legs. Then release the pelvis through the hips and roll up through the spine to come to your seated position. One more time, tuck the tailbone under, coming into the C-curve. And this time we're going to roll all the way down to the floor. So gradually releasing the spine to the mat, notch by notch, one vertebra at a time. Releasing the spine and the head to the mat. Let's change the position of the hands now, and we're going to bring the hands behind the head with our fingertips, just the fingertips overlapping, no more than that. And essentially what we're going to be doing is we're going to be cradling the back of that head with our fingers and our hands. So our thumbs should be pointing downwards towards the jaw and our little fingers pointing up towards the top of the head. Let's walk the feet in. Bringing the legs as close as you can towards the body, but without compromising your neutral spine. So your pelvis should still be forward and down, and that pelvic triangle should be parallel to the ceiling. Let's now establish a wonderful connection between our abdominal muscles
and our legs. Using those abs now, we're going to slowly lift the knees up, stacking them above the hips. Knees will be bent at a 90-degree angle. We're going to take a deep breath in, and using our upper abdominals, we're going to lift our head and our shoulders off the mat, sliding ribcage towards our hips. Take a deep breath in here, and as you exhale, you're going to tap your left toes towards the mat. You're going to twist your torso towards your right bent knee. Bring the torso back to center as you lift that left knee up. Now make sure you're keeping those upper abs engaged. You're going to lower the right toes to the mat and twist the torso now towards the left knee. Bring the torso to center as you lift that right knee up. Lower your left toes, twist towards the right leg. Make sure that you're rotating the rib cage. Don't think elbow to knee, think shoulder towards that leg. And then you're going to bring the torso to center, lift the left leg up. Tap the right toes to the mat, twist the rib cage towards the left side, towards that left bent knee. Bring that torso to center, lift the right leg up, lower the left toes to the mat. A little faster now, so twisting towards the right knee, switch the legs, lift and twist towards the left knee. Bring the torso to center, switch the legs. Rotate torso to the right, torso to center, switch your legs. Rotate torso to the left, torso to center, switch your legs. Lift and twist towards the right leg, center, switch your legs. Lift and twist torso to the left, center, switch your legs. Now release shoulders and head to the mat. Relax your arms, slide your shoulders down, pull your tummy in, slide ribcage down towards hips. Keep that knee above your hip and make sure your pelvis is forward and down in your neutral pelvic spine position. Now lift the head and the shoulders once again using your upper abdominals. From here, you're going to lengthen that right leg up towards the ceiling. Keep it above your hip. If your hamstring is tight, you can soften that knee. Now we're going to rotate the torso towards that straight leg. Bring the torso center. You're going to switch your legs, straighten now your left leg up towards the ceiling and rotate the torso towards the left. Bring that torso center, switch your legs. Right leg is up as you twist and rotate towards the right. Switch your legs, rotate and twist towards the left leg. Center with the torso as you switch your legs. And rotate towards the right side with the torso center, switch your legs. Rotate towards the left leg with the torso center, switch your legs. Release shoulders and head to the mat, relax your arms. Once again, pull the tummy down, Make sure that leg is still nice and long. Now you're going to extend your left leg out away from the body, and we're going to do the scissors. So keeping both legs straight, you're going to switch those legs and switch the legs again, keeping those legs nice and long. Remember, you can soften your knees if your hamstrings are tight. And switch the legs. And switch the legs. Try not to grab your quads as you switch the legs. Make sure the movement is taking place in your hip joint and that you're using your abdominals. Again, switch the legs. And switch the legs. And lift both legs up to the ceiling, bend both knees, and lower with control both feet to the mat. Soles of the feet are flat on the mat now. Let's open those feet so that they're hip width apart. We're going to bring the arms to the side of the body. We're going to slide the shoulders down. Adjust those heels so that they're underneath your knees. Relax your head and your neck. We're going to now press our hips up to come into a bridge position. So taking a deep breath in, you're going to press and lift those hips up to the ceiling until the hips come in line with knees and shoulders. Pull belly button to spine, squeeze your glutes. Now keeping your hips nice and stable without shifting them from side to side, you're going to lift the heels up off of the mat, pressing into the balls of the feet. Keep the hips here. We're going to do some pulsing motions up towards the ceiling. So you're going to squeeze the glutes and press the hips up and release, press and release, press and release, press and release, press. Hold it here and gradually release your heels down to the mat. You're going to keep your pelvis and your hips stable now. We're going to lift our right knee up above the right hip. Keep the knee bent, and we're going to do the same pulsing action. So you're going to lift the hips up, press them up and lower, 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 press them up. Hold it here. Slowly release that right foot down with control. Make sure it comes back to exactly where it was before. Now let's lift the left knee up and do the same thing. Press it up and lower, press it up and lower, press it up and lower, hips up and lower, hips up. Hold it here with control. Lower that foot down to the mat where that left foot was before. And now curve the spine and allow that spine to melt notch by notch into the mat. And slowly release your pubic bone forward and down through your hips to return to your neutral spine position. Slide your left leg out now completely along the mat, keeping that leg nice and long. You're going to lift your right knee up above your right hip, and we're going to extend that right leg up towards the ceiling. Now lift your head and shoulders up. Walk your hands up your legs as far as you can, scooping your tummy into the spine and up behind your rib cage. Then slowly breathing, release your spine as far as you can towards the mat. Even if you can't get all the way down with the shoulders and head, that's fine. Go to the furthest point that you can go. We just want to get a nice stretch in the backs of your legs, the hamstrings, the knees, and the calves. You can even flex that foot now to intensify that stretch, especially in that hamstring and your calf. And then point the foot now. You're going to slowly walk your hands down that leg as you release the spine back to the mat. Place your arms on the mat now. Release your pelvis forward and down so it's once again in neutral spine. And we're going to now get ready to do our leg circles. You're going to imagine that your big toe is a pencil and we're going to draw circles on the ceiling using the big toe. Try to circle the leg without impacting the rest of the body. Try not to grab your quads. Think about moving through the hip joints and using your abdominal muscles to keep the torso nice and stable. So we're going to place the left hand on top of the left hip just to make sure that that left hip isn't moving. We're going to really wind up those abs. So I want you to imagine the top of your body is like a sneaker. You're going to lace up the side body muscles, those obliques, in towards the center of the body and press the center of the body down towards the spine. So everything is nice and engaged. Your powerhouse is completely engaged now. We're going to breathe in and starting with the right leg, you're going to circle that right leg to the right, forward. Then you're going to exhale it to the left and center. Squeeze the abs in. Right, forward, circle left and center. Inhale right, forward, exhale left and center. Inhale right forward, exhale left and center. Hold the leg here. We're going to flex that foot now and reverse that circle. So we're going to inhale across the body forward, exhale to the right and center. Inhale to the left forward, exhale to the right and center. Inhale to the left forward, exhale to the right and center. Hold that leg here, squeezing your abs in, squeezing your lower pelvic floor muscles. Place your hands behind your head, point your feet, and you're going to lift the torso up and rotate that rib cage now towards that straight leg, and then rotate the torso to center. We're going to switch the legs in the scissors, bringing the right leg all the way to the mat with your left leg up towards the ceiling, and then relax your shoulders and your head back to the mat now. Keep that leg nice and long now, that left leg, you're still pulling that tummy in, not grabbing your quads. Let's lift the head and shoulders up and walk that hands up towards the furthest point we can along that left leg. Take a deep breath in, and as you release your spine to the floor, feel that wonderful, amazing stretch now at the back of your left leg. You can flex that foot now as well, bringing those toes down towards your face so that you can intensify the stretch in your calves. And then walk your hands down your leg as you release your shoulders and your head back to the mat. Release pubic bone forward and down and place your arms on the mat. Take your right hand now and place on top of that right hip, because that's going to make sure that we keep our pelvis nice and stable. We're now going to circle with the left leg. So circle left forward to the right and center. Inhale to the left and forward, exhale to the right and center. Inhale left and forward, exhale to the right and center. Flex the foot and let's reverse it. So across the body forward to the left and center. Inhale right and forward, exhale to the left and center. Inhale right and forward, exhale to the left and center. Hold that leg here. We're going to make sure that that leg is nice and long. Point that foot. We're going to bring the hands behind the head, lift head and shoulder blades up, and now rotate in the rib cage, twisting towards that left leg. Bring the torso center, switch your legs, and let's twist towards that right leg. Bring the torso center, switch your legs, and twist towards the left leg. So legs stay straight as we twist, doing the crisscross action with the upper body while doing the scissors action with the legs. Hopefully by now your hamstrings are nice and stretched, so you should be able to keep the legs nice and long. Remember to pull that tummy in as you lift and twist towards the left. Bring both legs up, bend your knees, relax head and shoulders to the mat. Take your hands now, place them on your knees, and scooping your tummy in some more. Bring your thighs to the chest and just gently rock those knees from side to side. You're going to roll onto the side of the body now and slowly press up, bringing your torso up. We're going to get ready now to come onto our stomachs. So we're lying flat now on our tummies. Legs are lengthened behind us, about hip width apart. We're going to bring our elbows underneath our shoulders. We're going to press those palms together, interlace the fingers, and really press into the forearms so that we can engage the muscles in our arms. Roll the shoulders back and down, lift those tummy muscles up, and curl the toes under. We're getting ready to go into our plank. So I want you to imagine there's a string attached to your belly button being pulled up towards the ceiling. As you pull and lift on in your abs, you're going to lift your hips up, bringing them in line with your shoulders. Now keep pulling and lifting your abs up to the spine. Pull your rib cage up as well. Now to protect your lower back, we don't want to overarch in that lower back. I want you to just tuck that tailbone slightly under, tilting it downwards towards the floor, because when we overarch, it places too much pressure on our lower back. So by tucking that tailbone under, it kind of protects our lower back. You're now going to straighten your knees, press your heels back so you're on the balls of the feet. Make sure your hips are still in line with your shoulders. Don't lift them up or lower them. Make sure they're in line with the shoulders, and we're going to hold it here. We're going to resist gravity by pulling abs up to the spine, pulling rib cage up. We're squeezing and engaging our lower pelvic floor muscles as well, and holding the plank, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Make sure those elbows are still underneath the shoulders and you're still pressing not just in your elbows but into your forearms. Now release the knees to the mat and then release the hips to the mat. So now we're going to get ready now to come into some twisting action. We're going to work those obliques again. So bring the legs a little bit closer together and let's return to the plank. Lift the hips up, tilt that tailbone under, straighten your knees, press your heels back, tummy is lifted to the spine. Now we're going to start on the right side. So twisting from the waist down, you're going to twist towards the right hip going towards the mat, not to the mat, towards the mat. Then you're going to twist back to center and twist left hip down towards the mat and center. Good. Twist to the right and center. Twist to the left and center. Twist to the right and center. Twist to the left and center. Twist to the right and center. Twist to the left and center. Twist to the right and center. Twist to the left and center. Release the knees to the mat, release the hips down to the floor. So now we're going to expand on it a little bit. We're going to try to do some side plank work, still working those obliques. So pulling the tummies in, elbows still underneath these shoulders, lift those hips up, tuck tailbone under, straighten your knees, press your heels back so you're on the balls of the feet. Let's twist first now to the left side this time. We're going to keep the hips slightly lifted as we lift the right arm up towards the ceiling. Wrap and lift the side body muscles on the right side up towards the ceiling as well. Don't drop your hips down towards the mat. Keep them lifted, and then we're going to come back to center, bringing that elbow back to the mat. Come to your center, hips are on the same level, shoulders on the same level. Let's repeat on the other side. So twisting now to the right, we're now lifting our left arm up towards the ceiling, wrapping and lifting the side body muscles up towards the ceiling as well. And then we're going to slowly now come back down to the mat with that elbow and twist to center. Still pulling abs in, still engaging lower pelvic floor muscles. Let's add some pulsing and hip movements with this so that we work those obliques a little bit more. So twisting again to the left, lifting the right arm up to the ceiling, lifting up in those abs. You're going to lower your hips down to the mat and press them up. Lower and press them up. It's your obliques working, not your legs, not your shoulders. And slowly come back to your plank. Hold it here as you prepare to go to the opposite side now. We're going to twist now over to the right side, lifting the left arm up to the ceiling, wrapping abs up. And we're going to start lowering the hips, pressing them up, and press them up, and press them up, and press them up, using those obliques. And then come back to your plank. Hold it here, squeezing abs in, squeezing lower pelvic floor muscles. Take a couple deep breaths here. Make sure your shoulders are back away from your ears. And then release the knees to the mat. And release the hips to the mat. We're going to lie completely on the mat now, but change the position of the hands so that they're just outside of the chest, elbows up towards the ceiling. Press into the palms and come onto your hands and your knees. Walk your knees in a little bit, bring them closer together. You're going to sit back on your heels. You're going to slide your arms forward along your mats as you release your chest to your thighs. Lower your head between your arms and begin to breathe in child's pose here. In this resting position, we're stretching along the spine, we're stretching across the back. We're also checking our breath, making sure that we're breathing in the rib cage and not in our tummies. So our tummies should be constantly pulled up to the spine, away from the thighs, and we should only feel our rib cage pressing against the thighs. Walk the hands back to the outside of the legs. You're going to slowly roll your spine up, stacking the vertebrae one on top of the other to come to sit on your heels. Change the position of your hands to your thighs. And now we're going to shift the hips to one side, any side, and come around to sit with our legs comfortably crossed. Lift the arms up to the ceiling. We're going to interlace the fingers and press the palms up. You're going to drop your chin softly to your chest and breathe here as you gently pull your arms behind your head. Now bring the hand to center, bring the arms in front of you. Flip the palms inwards and outwards as you stretch another set of muscles along the arms. And now release those arms.
Place your left palm on the mat. Lift your right arm up towards the ceiling. And we're just going to reach over towards the left side. Breathing in and out, feeling that wonderful stretch along the right side of the body. Make sure you keep that right hip on the mat. And then lifting up. Let's switch arms. Let's place the right palm on the mat. Lift the left arm up to the ceiling. Soften that elbow in towards the side of the body and reach the torso over now towards the right side. Left butt cheek stays on the mat. Feel the side, nice stretch along the left side of the body. And lift the torso up and bring the hands down. Let's rest the hands on the knees, and we're going to roll the shoulders up to the ears as we inhale. Roll the shoulders back and down. 2 more times. Inhale up. Exhale back and down. Last one. And really lengthen the spine as you finish that rotation in the shoulders from your tailbone all the way up through to the top of the head to the ceiling. Pull that belly button into the spine, pull that rib cage in, and just breathing in and out. Notice how much longer your body feels after what you've done in your practice. Thank you so very much for joining me on the mat once again. Remember to like this video. It helps me to know what kind of content that you like. Remember to comment, like, share, and most importantly, subscribe to my channel so that we can build this wonderful community of Pilates here on YouTube. Until I see you next time, I am Keita-Marie. Take care.